as a leader in a company and you bring people on to be a part of your business, your culture, what it is you're setting out to do, what it is that they're setting out to do. And you are going to come across people, and some people are uncommon and some people are acting common. They're just pushing the buttons and they're putting in their time and then it's done. And then they go home and they don't want to think about it anymore. They say there's comments, there's thoughts that they want to be uncommon, but they're not willing to do those things. Now, you also talk a lot about on your podcast about pushing those people. Now, it's very difficult because how do you make that decision if this person has the ability to become uncommon? Like you said before, you can learn these things. You can spend time working on your mental toughness, your grit, whatever all that is. That's a difficult thing for a leader to figure that out. There's a lot of time and emotion and energy that gets put into that to figure out, is this person going to get there or do we need to make a change? And I see this across all sorts of businesses. We deal with it at our business, right? And you're trying to figure out, is this person willing to go that next step? Or they want to be a part of this culture? Obviously, with you going around the world and working with companies and doing the keynote speeches, I'm assuming that you see this quite a bit, that people can understand this uncommon conversation, but then applying it to someone else when you're not inside their head to know, are they willing to take those extra steps? That's very difficult for a business leader, for a business owner to figure out, what do we do from here?
You make a great point. I'm not sure it's as difficult as we've all made it out to be. Obviously, the word uncommon means it's rare. Therefore, the common thing is for people not to do the next level work. However, I do think that if a leader is fully engaged, I've got a statement I make, this is part of our leadership training and our leadership program called Mark of a Leader. We start with this. This is the very first thing that we teach in leadership. Leadership is a mindset first and a skill set second. That's what we teach. And we give them the mindset of the leader. It's written down, and I've got clients all over the place who actually have printed this out and they post it someplace memorable where they can see it. And here's how a leader thinks. I'll often describe it this way. You pull up into the facility, you pull up in your car in the parking lot of your business, of your office building, of the project, of your school, of your team, wherever you pull up the parking lot. And before you get out of your car, you say this to yourself: today I get to lead with purpose, serve people, solve problems, and bring energy. Man, I love my job. And then go into the building, go into the office, go into the job site, go to the team, go into the school, and go do that. Lead with purpose, serve people, solve problems, and bring energy. And then you go do it. And during the day, if you lose that mindset, you look at that statement again and say, God, remember, today I get to lead with purpose, serve people, solve problems, and bring energy, and go do that. And what I've discovered, Eric, about that is those leaders who do that have this tremendous impact on people. And I'm certainly not going to claim that this uncommon, this breakthrough, the stuff we're talking about is easy, but I don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be. And for a leader to create that kind of an environment where every day the leader is bringing that kind of purposeful leadership activity, the vast majority of people are going to respond to that. I think one of the main reasons people don't respond to leaders is leaders give up. And I've seen this. I'll tell you, in big organizations, there's no question in my mind. And that is that employees, associates have figured out that if we resist, leaders will quit at some point. That the commitment to resistance is greater in most organizations than the commitment to implementation. I've seen this over and over again. In some regards, I don't blame employees because every year or two, the company swaps things out for some new initiative and people, and then they get tired of the program du jour. And so they lack the grit because they say, well, in 2 years, they're going to give up on this and try something different. I get that. But if a leader is just relentless and relentless and relentless and relentless positivity. Another way I'll say it is this, is be relentlessly persistent and positive until people change or quit. Relentlessly positive and persistent until people change or quit. We live in a world today where so many people start and then stop, and people have become accustomed to that, and they expect that. If a leader doesn't stop and grabs people emotionally and intellectually and leans in and says, I love you, I care about you, and I care about our team, and I care about our organization, and you've got another level in you. And you know what? We're going to work on that together. Just so you know, I'm going to be relentless in pursuing to help you do that, just so that you know. and then fulfills that, you got to be almost brain dead not to respond to that.
Right.
But how many leaders actually do that? They get mad too soon. They get frustrated too soon. They get negative too soon. Now, not everybody's going to respond. I'm not naive. I mean, I'm out there, so I know. And there are going to be people who are truly cynical and they're not going to respond. Well, you put pressure on those people, positive pressure, until they either do respond or they're gone. Right. And are there times you need to fire them? Absolutely. But you got to make sure you've been relentless in the way you brought purposeful leadership to them. So I think we just need to be more persistent and more positive and more passionate as leaders.
In case you haven't noticed, we love podcasts. In fact, you should have one. We'll even build it for you. A podcast, that is. Simply email me at eric@sportse.io. We'll get your podcast published fast.